Hey guys, Cynthia Maynard here. Hope you're doing well. I have my June Simon Says stamp kit, and with it these cards come. They're sort of a very soft, in other words there's no texture to them, type of cardstock. I can't think of the name right now, but they're doodled on all ready for you, and I was thinking, oh, what can I do with it? So I thought with this Be Happy I was going to try to make my own little embossing powder mix. And this pink, it's called Fluorescent Tickled Pink, and it's from Wow embossing powder, and it's just a regular embossing powder. And I thought, I don't use this too much, so I thought that might be it's a kind of a happy color. And I was going to mix it with a little bit of gold. So I'm going to kind of make my own little mix. So I'm going to go ahead and use a container here and put some of the gold. I want it to be mostly pink, but since once I do it I can't put it back in either jar, I thought I'd make my own separate one and then I can use it again for something else. So can I kind of mix that around? I just want a little bit of gold in there to kind of give it a little something sparkly. We'll see how it works. I've not done this before, sort of went into this without planning too much, so we'll see how that rolls. I've got a Ranger Emboss It pen. I have one in black, but this one is in clear. So I'm basically going to color in, you're not going to be able to see it, I'm going to color in the Be Happy. And it has like a sticky embossing ink. Maybe I'll do the bee first. I don't want it to dry by the time I get all of that done. Simply gonna take that. I should have used my embossing buddy, but somehow I always seem to forget that. Alright, and I'm just gonna put that right back in the jar. As you can see, I didn't get all the spots, and that could be just because of my pen. I'm missing it because I can't see what I'm doing, so I'm gonna try that again. Nope. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dry this, emboss this, and then I'm going to go back in with my pen and do the touch-up spots. And that'll be fine. No problems. Alright, so a bit of warpage there. This paper, by the way, got really hot. I don't know if it's because of whatever glossiness. I noticed it got hotter than normal cardstock would get. A little FYI there, see if you can see that. And so you could leave it like that if you're going for a distressed look. I wasn't really, but it's a nice thing about the little pen, you can get in little tight spots. So I'm going ahead and go around my embossed stuff here. That on top once again. A little more. Pretty happy with that. It's like a pink gold, just so you know. You noticed I put more pink in there than gold, and I'm getting more of the gold effect. So even more pink, I think, in there. We'll see what comes of that. Alright, so I added more pink to this, and as you can see, it shows, hopefully you can see, it shows up definitely more pink with gold rather than this one's gold with pink. So just a little FYI there as you're playing around, and we have extra for another time, another project. You can make your own collection of embossing powder, custom colors. So what I was going to do for the rest of the card is go ahead and use some Tombow watercolor markers. I picked some sort of brighter, cooler colors, and I thought I'd just go ahead and start coloring in, and I don't really have a plan per se. So we'll see what we do here. It's definitely different than coloring on watercolor paper or regular cardstock, so be prepared for that. I'm going to try some things here. Try some shading. I used this lighter color pink on there, and I'm going to go in with this darker, but still bright, and then I'm going to kind of do that and see with my blender pen what that does. It doesn't blend very well, folks, with the blender pen, so just so you know there. So whatever you do, I would plan to do it mechanically with your markers. If you're going to do any sort of shading, if you notice there, because let me try it with a water brush. A little more luck with that, but still we're getting hard lines on that. So just as a heads up, it's still a fun design, a fun thing to do, and maybe somebody has some tips and tricks. You can put that down in the comments below. I've not used this kind of paper before, so I'm accustomed to watercolor. I'm going to try blending in my leaves with this darker. Whatever you do with this, do on purpose, because it's not as forgiving as regular watercoloring is. It's fun, and it's something your kids could do. It's a great little already drawn out. I think this would be a great kids card. It's a chance for them to try out some products and things that maybe they don't get to play with as much. It's pretty, it's bold. I just am a personal fan of blending and shading, and so though this is fun right now, I won't want to do it all the time, you know, but it is what it is. Okay. Yeah, so I don't know. Not sure if I'm going for that. You would simply adhere that to a card base, but I think the thing to take away from this is if you're working on your kit or you haven't started this portion of it yet, is just be mindful of those things. Your blending ability is limited, at least with the products that the ways that I've done it. I might have to look online and see if someone else has found a little secret there. These are not watercolor pencils, these are regular Prismacolor pencils. When I was testing out some inks on this one, I'm curious. They seem to like the paper that this is on. They don't seem to mind that glossy sheen, so maybe this is a better way to go. The markers are good too, you just can't blend, and so I feel like you get more texture with a pencil rather than a marker. Obviously is a straight color, so we rely when we use markers and watercolor markers on the ability to blend either by water or by shading with multiple shades of the same tone, whereas the colored pencil naturally has more texture and grit about it because of the fact that it's a pencil and not marker. So if that makes sense. Things to note, I did get this wet. I was testing these little beams out with some of my shimmer watercolor paint with the mica in it, and it did sort of warp. I didn't heat this at all, and it did warp the paper slightly, so that might not be the best way to go either, and it's still quite tacky. The embossing worked great on it. So the embossing worked great. The markers are fine as long as you don't want to blend, and the colored pencils worked really well. So I think, you know, those might be the choices unless you have another product that you can represent. Didn't try any gelatos on these. That might be something to do as well. We can do that. Alright, I've got some gelatos here that I'm going to try for my son. Let's set this one aside and see how well that spreads. Okay, yeah, a little blending there. Gelatos, you could use Faber-Castell. Gel crayons, you could use the Recollection gel crayons. They're all very, very similar product. This is just applying it straight on. Probably wouldn't add water like I usually would to these, just rubbing with my finger. And I am getting some great shading there, so that's another option. So I guess this video turned into options for your doodle card panels that you got with your subscription. Hopefully that's helpful as you embark on coloring yours. And anyway, sometimes it's just fun to kind of experiment, and I really like my embossing though. That's my favorite on here. I think that worked out really well. So go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. It was kind of an experimentational one, so sorry about that in the sense of rather than a traditional tutorial. Thank you so much for your time and have a great day.